breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty. Mornings on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline from LSUS Political Science. Dr. Jeffrey Sato joining us. Dr. Sato, good morning. Thanks for taking the time here to talk with us.
Yeah, sure.
This is an interesting article that you've got on the Hayride. You're basically calling out the Shreveport City Council, saying that they want Mayor Arsenault to fail. Tell us what you mean by this.
Yeah, this goes to the budget that was discussed last week. The original plan that Mayor Arsenault had submitted had mainly some revenue-enhancing measures. Of course, that always means increases in something, taxes or fees. In this case, fees for water and sewage, as well as solid waste pickup. And then some, you can consider them cuts, basically not keeping unfilled positions in the budget. It was really kind of more bookkeeping than anything else, because what the Arsenault administration said was, we're not going to have these on there, but if we start hiring people to face these shortages, well, then we can always appropriate some money later. But these were there to be able to make up the large, quote, deficits that the city was running over the last couple of years. And the city council got rid of these things. So
they eliminated the $3 monthly solid waste charge, and they're holding off on hiring positions. Is that correct?
Yeah, and then a 20% hike contemplated in water and sewerage. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, the thing... In doing that, obviously they created a gap that would have to be, not filled now. The thing is, the city's been running large deficits. I think around last couple of years, $50 million into reserves in order to basically pay off debt, and largely connected to the consent decree that the city faces with water and sewage. So Arsenault wanted to stop the erosion of that, and he wanted to actually start to fill it back again, but he was thwarted by the Democratic majority on the city council.
You're saying this is essentially kicking the can down the road, and that I think your words were fiscal doom is ahead, or something to that effect. We're not in good financial shape. I mean, if we didn't have that ARP money sitting there, we would have very limited reserves, correct?
Yeah, that gave everybody a boost, and not just in terms of dollars coming into the city, but in the economic activity that it stimulated. And of course, that's all going away. So that's going to be problematic. And the thing is, again, this erosion happened right in the middle of all that. So yeah, you're right. It would have been really, really bad if it hadn't been for that debt-fueled lifeline.
So council members could say they're trying to save money, but you say this is partisan politics.
Well, certainly Democrats don't have any incentive really to see Arsenault succeed in putting the city on a more stable financial footing. Now, of course, it'd be a good thing for the city if that happened, but obviously these things are to some people would be not terribly popular. I mean, no one likes to see their rates go up 20% and pay extra every month for their garbage pickup. So, certainly you could look at it in terms of, we're not inflicting these extra higher charges on people. At the same time, though, there are fiscal problems, and maybe it looks good for you as a council member to not inflict these on the voting public. But at the same time, you are in fact kicking the can down the road, and it does certainly thwart the efforts that Mayor Arsenault is trying to fix the problem, and that's something that probably a number of members, some members on the council and among local party activists, they wouldn't mind seeing Arsenault fail.
Doc, the another underlying subject here is the proposed bond issue that could be on the March ballot. Do you feel like these council members are dooming it by some of the things they're doing?
No, I'm not sure about that at this point. I mean, certainly, you're asking a huge sum of money to be approved. Of course, it's not something that paid for it all at once, but it's certainly that's something that it might be a spillover effect. Sure, I mean, if you're talking about these kinds of measures, and then if you want to be consistent, say, well, we don't want to do more of this by having these kinds of things passed. Again, though, it's hard to tell because there's some things on the list that are kind of eternal, and it seems that the city's been wanting to get around. Some other things maybe not so necessary. I'm not quite sure how they're going to play it at this point.
There's a quote in your article that says, and I'm going to read directly from it because it really is interesting, making him, Arsenault, appear as a failure in time for the 28 election makes it easier for the more ambitious among them, the council members you're referring to take his place in what appears to be a golden opportunity for a black Democrat politician. It looks like that's the root of what you see as part of the problem. You agree? You stress that?
Yeah, I think politics is involved in this. When basically right after the election results were known, there must have been a number of politicians in the city eligible to be mayor who thought, well, this is a fluke, and we in 4 years, chances are pretty good for somebody like me to be able to run and win against this incumbent. And so
we doom him to failure?
I don't think they want to do him any favors. Let me put it that way. And again, it's kind of an easier choice when you can turn around and say to the voting public that, well, I'm saving you from 20% rate hikes, saving you from extra charges on your garbage. It's easy to do it that way. It's just easy to make that decision and at the same time achieve this other objective of position yourself better at somebody else's expense for your political future.
We're talking with Dr. Jeffrey Sato for Louisiana State University Public. Now you've thrown off my political science professor. You've got a statement in this article, Dr. Sato, this is just disturbing. That says Democrat partisans loathe the idea that a white Republican serves as mayor over their black majority and Democrat plurality city.
Yeah, certainly
that's a strong statement.
Yeah, I'm sure there are a few out there that basically thinking this is not the constituency for a Republican, a white Republican, to be mayor. I mean, we are a majority black city. Democrats in the plurality. This is ours. That we should be running this city, and so I'm afraid they're thinking like that. And certainly, you look at some of the things that have gone on the council and controversy, for example, over the clerkship of the council, where there was racial overtones to that. I think there are people that are thinking that way in the council.
So what do you think the solution would be then?
I don't know. I mean, for Arsenault, the numbers are against him. He's consistently, most of the time, has 5 votes against him, and that's enough to override any veto. So, he just has to pitch stuff out there and hope he can convince at least a couple of the opposition to go forward. If not, and if a veto is involved, then he has to convince 3 not to additional not to override it. So, that's just the reality and the numbers, and that's just what he's up against.
One last thing, a different subject completely. The sheriff's race. We're waiting on the state Supreme Court to decide if they're going to hear it. Do you think they will?
Probably not. You look back at the Atkins v. Huckabee case almost a quarter century ago. It's a very similar case. The court decided that there should be a new election in that, and I don't know that anything's happened since then that would change their minds. And so the similar case comes up, and they say, well, we've dealt with this, and so I don't think they're even going to hear it, and so that means a new election come March 24th.
Pretty historic, yeah. Thank you for your time.
Dr. Jeffrey Sato, thank you so much, sir. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Why is it when you need money the most, that's when you have to spend money on other things?
So true.
It's like buying tires. Don't you just hate buying tires?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, that's just, $800 or whatever.
There it goes.
Just gone.
You got to do it, though. You got to do it. Yikes.
Christmas. Do you have all your Christmas shopping done?
I'm pretty much done. And you know what? This is an embarrassing story.
Now, you sent stuff off, right?
I mailed it. Everything's off to my children and et cetera. But one of the gifts arrived yesterday in San Antonio to my son and his girlfriend. And this is embarrassing. My son, my oldest son is, he's very pretty much meticulous about, what he wears, what he smells like and all that. And I buy an expensive, I'm not going to name it because it's, I don't want to do a commercial for him, but it's a laundry detergent that's, got a really unique smell. Okay. And it's really awesome. And I love it. It's expensive. And I would buy it, at the house. And of course he was doing his laundry and he was like, Mom, that smells so good.
Okay, I got to figure out what this is.
And message us on the Shreveport Security Systems message board and I'll tell you what it is. But it's expensive. So you water it down. You use like half Tide, half this stuff. And all my friends, all my bunco gals, they know what it is because we tell each other a text message when it's on sale. But anyway, it's on sale. Go get it.
Yeah. Okay.
And you have to typically order it. There are a few stores that sell it, but the price is so high.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what's high?
It's
like
80.
How much is Tide?
Tide is 15 or 20.
Okay.
And this stuff is 75.
Euros? Pesos?
American dollars. This is expensive. I'm telling you, it's expensive.
Never mind.
You stick with your Tide.
Yeah. Wow.
But you water it down. You use half Tide and half this stuff. Anyway, so I sent them a big jug of it. And
wow.
When he got it, but think about it. I sent laundry detergent for Christmas. That's what I sent.
But he appreciates that.
He did. He was so excited.
Yes.
He was so excited because they're not going to spend that on laundry detergent. But I know he loves it. And she had said something about how great his clothes smell. And so I thought, you know what? I'll send him a
that's a very thoughtful gift.
And he was so excited. And I said, remember to water it down, and he goes, we can't find it. It's so hard to find. And I'm like, yeah, I know where to get it. Mama knows where to get it. So, but I'm sitting here going, and that's one of the gifts I sent him, but I sent laundry detergent for crying out loud. How awful is that?
No, but that's a good gift.
Okay.
Especially $75 freaking dollars.
Yeah, it's expensive, so don't use it straight up. It's like, when you buy that expensive scotch or whatever, you don't want to drink a big old jug of it. I don't know. Anyway, I'm mixing my metaphors or whatever, but yeah.
Okay,
good stuff.
Talk about good gifts. My brother-in-law and his wife, so I guess that'd be my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Got me a subscription to Epoch Times.
Nice.
I was like, oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
So I've got full access. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Oh, that's awesome. That is really a good gift. Yeah. No doubt.
Thank you, Alma.
You bet. You bet. Yeah, I'm done shopping. I'm out.
Senator Kennedy is going to join us coming up later this morning. Also, folks from the crew of Sobek. We've got a busy morning. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, and on the free.
Breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
See, I consider myself a pretty good gift giver because I enjoy doing that.
Yeah, and you're done with yours?
No.
You're not.
Oh,
Mike.
Aaron, it's caught up on. I mean, it's just
time.
I know.
Now, what do y'all do for your kids? Do you and your wife decide something, or
just stuff? I mean, nothing.
Okay.
I mean, they're grown.
I know.
They're
exactly.
35 and 38 years old.
Right.
For crying out loud.
It's not like they don't go buy stuff when they need it.
Right. Yeah.
But sometimes you get them something that they wouldn't think to get themselves,
sure.
Which is kind of cool, and they enjoy it. They appreciate it. I'm not going to say what else I sent mine, but if you want to know the laundry detergent, just send us a message on the Shreveport Security Systems message board. And if you don't know how to do that, all you do is use the app, the KEEL app on your phone. It's free. You can put it on your phone and delete it if you want. I don't care. And just shoot us a message right there.
It's worth having, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The app is great. I mean, I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. You can listen on the app. You can send us messages. We may read your messages on the app. You can listen to the podcast all the time, after the show is over on the app. So it's very, very worthwhile.
A friend of mine texted me and he said, oh, sure, you'll endorse Tide, but not the good stuff.
I know. And I probably should endorse maybe I will later. I'm not.
It's a semi-local?
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
it's Glamorous Wash. Diva Glamorous Wash. And it's made in Tyler, Texas. And I'm telling you, it's a game changer. You will decide you're going to bust your budget.
They have different fragrances, though, don't they?
Not really. No.
They don't?
You want the main one. But they have the little poopery spray for the bathroom that you can put in the bathroom if somebody leaves a nasty smell. You can spray the bath. The smell is incredible. Your wash will never be the same. People will smell you when you're walking around.
I'm going to walk over and smell your clothes.
And they will go, no, I don't use it all the time.
Oh.
This might have it on there. Yeah, you can tell. It's a neat smell. It really is. It really is.
Will he or won't he? Jaden Daniels has made his decision about the Reliant Quest Bowl. We'll talk about that after the break. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Back with more McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
I used to, I don't know. Maybe I just don't care about a lot of the stuff anymore. Like, I remember, and this makes me kind of sad. I had a nephew that was like, they were married. Actually, he was married to my niece, so I don't know if that makes him my nephew. I don't know. But they're like, oh, can't go to Mike's house if the Saints are playing. Can't go. No,
right. Disturb him, and he's crazy.
I'm getting,
he's that guy.
I would get so, Aaron, emotionally involved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, sausage balls fly at my house for LSU.
For LSU,
yeah,
I know, and I'm still that it can ruin my evening.
Yes.
Especially when I think we should have done better. Right now with the Saints, I don't think we should. My expectations are so low.
No, we're not expecting high.
But when players would opt out, college players would not play in a bowl game that the entire team worked so hard to get to, it would upset me.
I was that way too. I was that way too. I was like, you got this scholarship, you got an education.
That's right. You have an obligation to fulfill.
That's part of your bargain. Part of your bargain was to be a teammate.
But now when you look, I kind of see it. I mean,
and you're paying them now too. I mean, they're making money now.
And that's right. It's a completely different game today.
They're getting cash moolah for NIL money. And I don't like it.
No, I don't like it. But I do understand. Jaden Daniels has opted not to play in the bowl game coming up on January 1st.
And I truly understand that. And you know, if this was one of the Final Four games and you had a chance for a national title,
absolutely, you better be in there.
There's nobody opting out then. I mean,
right.
I'd be shocked if there's somebody opting out of one of those games.
Now,
that'll be the next year when there's 12 teams.
Yes,
and you're maybe number 12, and you probably don't have a chance of winning it all, but you're in there. Who opts out then? Who do we talk about then? Who opted out?
Yeah.
That'll be a big deal because you still are kind of a contender, but maybe not really. Maybe you just happen to have an undefeated season, but you didn't really play anybody. You know, I don't know.
Well, see, you can't say that about LSU, though.
No.
If you work your way through the SEC, you've earned your way there.
But you also have, and I hate to say this because I know the bowl games matter to all these kids and to the towns where they are, but does the bowl game really matter in the big picture of LSU football?
Exactly. I mean, especially,
they get a big paycheck, but how much difference does it? And I know they use the bowl games for recruiting tools and all that sort of thing. But in the grand scheme of things, how much do the bowl games really matter now if you're not still in the running? You know, if you're not going to count that win toward you're possibly the national champion, which it doesn't count anymore. So I don't know. So,
and LSU did pick up a transfer, A.J. Swan from Vanderbilt.
I saw that.
So now, and he had, pretty incredible stats.
Absolutely. And
so
I think he's a Louisiana native, too, I believe.
Georgia.
Oh, he's from Georgia?
I think he's from Georgia.
Okay. Well, that's exciting.
He's going to give Nussmeier a run for the starting job.
They're saying Nussmeier's still going to start at the bowl game, but
he'll start at the bowl game.
Right.
I mean for the next 2024.
And so they're preparing Nussmeier to start, and Wisconsin's got a good squad, but we should still win the game. We should still win. But again, there's no sausage balls flying for the bowl game. Right. That's not happening. I'm pretty chill.
Right. Just enjoy it.
Yeah. Unless we're a contender, then I'm just going to enjoy the game and, watch the people and see if I recognize anybody in the stands. Cause, there's always somebody from around here that goes to these bowl games and travels with the team. So it'll be fun to watch. I'm looking forward to it. I understand Jaden's decision. No doubt about it.
Now, wide receiver Malik Neighbors is going to play.
Okay.
Because he's close to the all-time receiving yards record for LSU.
Ooh.
And he can, it's close enough where he can get it.
In the game.
When
he gets it, does he sit then? Coach, sit me out now. I'm done.
I got it. I
got a hamstring pull. All of a sudden.
All right. Again, I think everybody understands.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And you can say he's earned it.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
He's earned it, that right.
And Jaden turned 23, by the way, and he was out with the Raising Cane's owner handing out bikes. They're giving away about 1,500 bicycles, so he said he wanted to do his part, so that's how he spent his birthday, and he thought that was cool. But 23, happy birthday! Start beefing up now. Start eating some canes.
Oh yeah, you got to start building up. If he's going to make it in the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's small. Of course, Drew Brees. They said that about Drew Brees.
You're right.
He's too little to play in the NFL.
Look at that. Yep.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty.
Let's get back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Uh-oh. I just got an email.
Oh, no.
We received a request to reset your Facebook password. Change password. I need to click this link.
Click on that. Yeah, Ruben needs to click on that.
I need to click on that pretty quickly, don't I, Ruben?
Needs to click on that.
I'm scared.
Go ahead and click on that, yeah.
It looks so legitimate, too.
They're so bad.
I wonder if somebody really is trying to hack my... What do you think you're going to see?
Yeah. that might be corporate trying to trick you too. Then you're enrolled in training. Then you get an email from corporate saying you're now enrolled in our town square training.
Yeah.
Don't click on that.
And that's an hour you never get back.
Yeah, you can't get that back. I got a chuckle this morning too. A friend posted this message, wondering about the weather. Me, is it going to be hot or cold today? Louisiana. Yeah. So true. It's so true. You don't know what to put on in the morning, so you just layer.
I know. I checked the app, and see, for me, it's like, okay, do I ride the bike or not?
Exactly. Yes.
And I don't care about. I know it's 35, but I can bundle up. I've got great leather gloves. I've got
Sure.
But if it's going to rain.
Oh, you don't want to be out in the rain. Yeah, exactly.
And the other day I got caught at work at the station and didn't realize it was raining because I'm in my studio.
Right.
And my bike is sitting right out. And I'm like,
oh, no.
I had to ride home in the rain. Not fun.
No, not pleasant.
I have not watched your Obama movie either.
You haven't? It's not my Obama movie. It's a Julia Roberts movie.
It's your Obama movie.
Leaving the World Behind. They just happen to be the producers of the movie. It's a freaky movie. I'm just telling you, it's a freaky movie. The Teslas go crazy. The world gets taken over.
Do they say Tesla by name or just electric cars?
No, you see them. You see the logo. You see the Tesla emblem on them, and they're
so he's going after Elon.
They're driving themselves, and they're crashing into each other, and they're blocking the roadways. But it's it's Julia Roberts, it's Ethan Hawke, Mahershala Ali.
I saw the trailer where they're on the beach. And the ship is heading toward the beach.
Yep, ship crashes into the beach, and I'm not talking about a little ship. I'm talking about a huge, like a
tanker, big cargo tanker.
Yes,
yeah.
All kinds of crazy things. Planes start falling out of the sky. It's a weird movie. I'm telling you.
And you know what it made me think of? When the rapture happens, things like that are going to happen.
I think you might be right. I think that might be how it ends. I don't know.
Because people are going to disappear.
Yeah.
And planes will crash and ships will,
Trains will derail. Yep. It's going to happen. It's bizarre,
but I don't think this being produced by Obama is a rapture movie.
You don't see any evidence of Obama. You really don't. Some people say there's some racist overtones in it, racial overtones. I didn't really see that. You could interpret it like that.
I've seen things where people go, well, this is, and you go, boy, you have to really be digging deep to try to make this accusation.
I know that, and that's what people do.
This is so offensive. Oh, yeah. Shut up.
And that's why, to say I'm not watching it because it's an Obama movie. You can't tell. You don't know. It's a Julia Roberts movie.
Concept of the film. What is he trying to say? Is my question.
Could the world end like this?
Like what? What's causing all of that?
Well, the movie claims it's North Korea and Iran and, our enemies that have gotten together and they're going to overthrow us. And here's how they're going to do it.
Okay. I'm not going to pass judgment till I see it. Let me, you're going
to come back and go, it's a weird movie, and it's a very weird ending. Very weird ending.
Now I know there's a twist.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a sequel coming, I'm sure.
Okay. Senator Kennedy joining us later this morning, as will some of the crew of SOBEC. Their parade on January 13th. We'll hear from them. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. On 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty. You brought up something that's very interesting to me, and I almost judged, but the more I think about it, you were talking about this laundry detergent that you said smells really good.
It's wonderful.
But you said it's expensive.
Very expensive.
And I'm thinking, okay, sometimes, if Tide is and I'm just pulling numbers. Okay, say a big jug of Tide is $10.
Right.
And if this is $18.
Okay.
That's expensive. But it's really, if it's a better, I finally got to the point, I used to sell men's clothing, okay?
Sure.
Davis is big and tall. They carried very nice quality clothing. Some of it was more expensive.
Sure.
Like the dress shirts. Very nice, broadcloth. I mean, and people were like, well, this was 2 times more. I said, yeah. And you know what? Your cost of ownership, it's going to last you a lot longer.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's going to cost less in the long run. There are some things that's worth spending the money on.
Yes. Thank you. That's so
lawn
true.
equipment. I do my own lawn. There is nothing, Aaron, more frustrating than trying to go out and yank on a lawnmower.
Oh, gosh.
15, 20 times trying to get that thing to start.
Right. Absolutely.
I don't,
You want a
my
reliable
life's too
one.
short. I got other things to do.
That's the thing,
And I'll buy a nice chainsaw and a nice lawn,
Yes.
because it's not worth trying to save a couple bucks here.
Right.
Then the pain that you have to deal with because you tried to save a few bucks. And I finally convinced. I'm not convinced. My wife is starting to see that.
She's buying into the argument. A little bit. Okay.
She understands now,
All right.
that it's worth. It's like people look at a PC and a Mac. Okay. The operating systems are different. And if you've been on a PC your whole life, a Mac will look a little different.
Right.
You'll get used to it very quickly, I'm telling you. But your cost, and then a Mac's going to be more expensive up front. But your cost of ownership over the life of that, Aaron, the computer that I'm using in my studio, a Mac Pro from 2009.
Goodness sakes. Wow.
In computer world, that's now I've replaced the hard drive and upgraded elements of it. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
So my cost of ownership for that $2,000-$3,000 box at the time. Look at how that's
over
time
paid for itself. Yes,
absolutely.
You bet. And I'm the kind that I'm not going to. Some friends went and got the new iPhone. Was it 15 they're on now? I won't do that until
no.
Until this one craters or I drop it in a pond or something.
The thing is like my Mac, I can't upgrade it anymore. And once software gets to the point where it won't, it's no longer supported, then you have to.
You got to buy a new one, yeah.
Like my iPhone's a 12.
I think that's what.
But I came from a 6.
Yes,
because it was no longer supported. You couldn't get updates. The security was so you have to. But I'm like you. I'm not going to get a new one just because the new one's out. I question those folks who have always got to be first in line to get the new one. I got to get the new one. Why? What is it going to do is it going to scratch your back? And if it makes you happy and you got the money, more power to you. I don't care.
See, I
don't care. And it's not going to be me.
Part of me is couldn't you find a better use for that money?
Well, sure. Yeah. And they're $1,000, so. Yeah.
Keep your iPhone 14 and go give that $1,000 to a food pantry or something. That's where my brain falls. Or put it in your 401k.
Right.
Because there's so many of the young generation, they're spending and spending and spending, and they're not realizing maybe I ought to rethink this. Maybe I ought to save for the future, bank some money, and make sure I'm taking care of myself before I start buying all these new gadgets that I just got to have.
Now, and I'm not saying go buy the most expensive of everything.
No.
Because sometimes, you're just spending more to spend more because you want the name or you want, the prestige of that particular. But there are some things that it's worth investing. You're not spending, you're investing in.
Absolutely.
Because it's going to last longer.
That's how I buy my underwear. Didn't think we were going there, did you? Got to buy the good stuff.
Well, you're actually right.
It's the truth.
Sure.
You buy that junk, well, it's going to have holes in it, and your grandma's going to be there over your head when you get in a wreck. I told you not to wear holy underwear. I don't wear holy underwear.
Well, since you went there, Another place that it's worth spending the money on? Toilet paper.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just drop the extra 80 cents or $2.
Yeah. Be easy on your tush.
It's worth the time. Is
there another radio station in America talking about being easy on your tush today?
You said it, I
think not. Sorry. Edit that out of the network feed, Ruben.
Speaking of easy on your tush, Senator Kennedy will be joining us coming up 8 o'clock. I don't know.
Oh, God.
Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, and on the free.
More breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Okay, I'm looking at some of these messages on the Shreveport Security Systems message board.
Some of them you can't read.
No. That one I can't. Well, I can edit it, but
you could.
I'm going back to your Obama movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy says, "Hey, Mike, I meant to message Erin last week and tell her that I watched the Obama movie." Here's Andy's review. Enormous waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
Not frightening at all. Poor dialogue. Pretty decent acting for the script they had. And the cinematography looked like something from the 70s. It was truly an hour and a half I'll never get back. I kept waiting for it to get good. Something. Anything. A true stinker. IMHO, but what do I know? Do not waste your time, please.
I know. It's a weird movie. It's a very weird movie.
But see, I don't mind weird movies.
And there are... half the people that I've talked to that have watched it have said, waste of time. The other half is like, not, interesting.
But see, I'm dubious just from the onset finding out that Obama produced it. What is the message that he's trying to convey? What propaganda is he trying to spew?
No, I know. You assume every filmmaker's trying to spew propaganda? Could it just be, he's just trying to make a film? He got his buddy Julia Roberts to sign on, and once she signed on, it's like, oh, good, this will be a hit.
No.
You get Julia Roberts signing on, it's good. It's a good to go. No matter what kind of stinker it is. I don't know what the Obama message was in it. If there's a liberal message in it, send it to me. I would like to know, what was the liberal message?
So you didn't feel like, but see, you're I would say not as right as me.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm definitely not.
And I mean politically. I don't mean correct.
Well, we know I'm no more right than that.
I know that's a good say. So you may not be affected.
I may not. You're right. I may not see it. It may be glaring in the movie and I missed it. What is the political message? I don't think
it would be glaring. I don't think you would miss glaring. But yeah, if there is, that's my concern. What's he trying to push?
Send me that. I would like to know that.
For those who've seen it, Carrie says, 2 hours you can't get back. Good concept, awful execution. Now, see, that's interesting because those aren't B actors at all.
No, I mean, these are A-listers, big time. That's why I watched it opening night or whatever it was. I saw it the first night they had it on there, and I thought, this is going to be good. It's Julia Roberts, Ethan Hawke, Mahershala Ali. It's a great cast.
Weird films. I watched Wrinkles the Clown, for crying out loud.
Yeah, okay. I would want that hour and a half back. Definitely. Definitely.
I mean, my gosh. So, I'm not opposed to weird. That was literally like a train wreck you couldn't turn away from.
Yeah.
I couldn't turn it off.
I watched one yesterday that was disturbing, and the documentary about Andrea Yates. You remember the Houston mom who killed all five of her children?
Right.
And they found her guilty at first, but then they came back and had a new trial, and they found her not guilty by reason of insanity. And the part about this, her husband Rusty, outside the courthouse when she's found not guilty, was defending her. They finally got this right. Now she'll get her help. We need help for mentally ill people. And I thought, and he stood by her for a long time. That was a freaky, I want that hour and a half back too. I wish I hadn't watched it. I really wish I hadn't watched it. And I was looking for the Sandra Day O'Connor documentary that I think NPR did, but you can't access it free yet. They need to loosen the strings on that one. People want to see that now, because I wanted to see that, because there was, how many people did you see with the RBG documentary when it came out? It was everywhere. Ruth Bader Ginsburg's death, that documentary was everywhere. Where's the Sandra Day O'Connor documentary? Let it loose. We want to see it. First woman on the U.S. Supreme Court. Come on.
Right.
For crying out loud. I was hunting for that yesterday for a long time, and I almost, here's how cheap I am, I almost paid the $4 to rent it. But I thought, no, it'll be free in the next couple of days. They'll let it loose.
You sound like my wife.
Cheapskate.
My work wife sounds like my home wife.
Unless it's laundry detergent, it's a different story.
There's some things it's okay.
Yes.
But see, and I hate, look, people, I hate sometimes that I'm this way, but I still filter things through a political filter.
Yeah.
I can't watch, see, I even put her, Devil Wears Prada. Oh my gosh, one of the best actresses of our generation.
Meryl Streep.
I can't watch Meryl Streep. I can't watch her.
What'd she do?
I can't watch Robert De Niro anymore. Because they open their mouths.
Yeah.
Sean Penn. What a great actor.
Right.
I mean, even the stupid things like Ridgemont High. Mm-hmm. But to be able to pull off that stupid type character, you got to be a good actor.
Yeah.
And I am saying, I mean, the guy's an incredible actor. I can't watch him because they open their mouths. Now, they have a perfect right to do that.
Sure. Absolutely.
And I wish I could separate. People go separate the art from the artist. I wish I could, because I would be able to enjoy a lot more.
Absolutely, yeah.
One of my favorites for years, Chevy Chase. Fletch, the Fletch movies. Mm-hmm. I love those books. Gregory McDonald wrote this. There's a whole series of books on Fletch that are better than the movies. But it's like even now, it's because he opened his mouth.
Yeah. It's rough sometimes.
And I wish
they go too far.
People say just separate. I wish I could. And there are some I just try to ignore.
Yeah. It's hard.
Senator Kennedy joining us after the 8 o'clock news. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710keel.com.
Stories of the day with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
Today is the 19th.
Wow.
December 19th.
Unreal.
We've got Operation Santa Claus that we did, and you've been here the whole time. I was here back in the late 80s. Mm-hmm.
Started
into the early 90s.
Started Christmas of 84, and I started in this building in May of 84. So I was here when they started the program.
And I think I was here I was here like right after you got here. Yeah. I came in doing mornings on KW.
It was a brainchild of several people. Barney Cannon was one of the ones early on that was helping with the program.
So this didn't come from old Mike and Mike Oatman.
I don't know. I'm not sure if it wasn't a Mike and Mike thing. I'm not sure if they were spearheading it. But it involved law enforcement from all around the region.
Yes.
Police and fire agencies. And it's now Shreveport and Shreveport Police and Fire. And I cannot thank these guys enough. I mean, they do an incredible job. And the unique thing about Operation Santa Claus, and we haven't fully ever explained it this year yet, is that it's these officers and these firefighters throughout the year.
Right.
They identify families that they have gone to the homes, or they have found a need in these homes, and they realize
during the normal course of a call,
right?
You get a domestic violence call or a situation
or a fire call,
right.
You realize, man, this family is struggling, and they're not going to have a Christmas. It's going to be a tough year for them, and so they write those names down of those children, and they ask them, "What would you like for Christmas?" And those kids give them one or two items. Some of them, Mike, when they turn that in, the sheet says anything. Little Jim Bob just wants anything.
Right.
or would like a basketball or a football. And, when you read the notes.
So much we take for granted.
Oh, that's going to be the only gift some of these kids are going to get for Christmas. And I've mentioned a few, because I have sometimes hardship cases come into me for people that are like, oh, can you help me at the last minute? My home burned, or, I know a family that needs help. And so I reach out to them, and Operation Santa Claus, they help so many people. And the deliveries have gone out. They should be finishing them up today or tomorrow if they have not already. So my heart is so warm for all the folks that are involved with Operation Santa Claus, police and firefighters and all the volunteers and all the businesses and people that chipped in.
And you know what? And all of you who bought toys.
Yes.
And provided these toys.
Yes.
Thank you for your support.
It's overwhelming. And
it really is.
They're going to help at least 1,500 kids this year.
Yeah.
And probably closer to 2,000. When the dust settles, that is simply amazing. Kids that we're going to touch that we wouldn't have without your help.
When Santa visited Shriners late last week, it was just an awesome experience.
Yes.
Because they came up and took pictures with Santa. What do you want for Christmas? But then one of the firefighters or one of the police officers, they had toys stashed back, and they got a toy right there.
Yes.
In addition to coming up on Christmas.
Absolutely.
So it was just it's a really, really unique setup and just a special time.
It's a great program. Can't thank you for donating enough. It's the community that matters, and this one does.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott taking on the feds again. I'll talk about that coming up after the break. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710keel.com.
Of Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
And I'm reading this story about Texas Governor Greg Abbott. First of all, he signs legislation allowing Texas law enforcement officials to arrest migrants illegally crossing the border from Mexico into Texas. Think about that for a moment. He's signing He's signing legislation allowing Texas law enforcement to do the job they're already supposed to be doing.
Right.
Because he has to fight Joe Biden and his own federal government trying to keep his state safe and his citizens safe and secure. And he's going to get kickback for this.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I say keep the buses rolling. If I were him, and that's my state.
Absolutely.
And then these whiny governors in these other states, we can't take more than 500 of these folks. They're taking 5,000.
In
daily.
These border states.
And expected to take care of them and enroll them in schools and, all the stuff that comes along with it.
It's funny you don't hear about the crisis in California because they're crossing the southern border there.
Oh, absolutely. You bet they are.
Come on. We love you.
And then rich folks in California are fleeing. They're leaving for other states. When you step back, how do you not see what's happening? What's really happening? See, my voice is going up. I know, you're squeaking now.
It's my voice is going up. It just.
They're going to turn Texas blue. That's what they want. And that once they
spend much time in Dallas, you'll go, well, they're on their way.
Yes, absolutely. You would think it's happening quicker than you can imagine. But I don't know. You still got a lot of folks in West Texas and up in north and northeast Texas that are not going to let that happen. I get Greg Abbott's point, though.
It's clear as crystal what the Democrats are trying to do. They're building their base. Sure. That's what they're doing. They're paying for these votes is essentially what they're doing.
Who's it hurting?
Opening the border. Who's it hurting?
I wish people would step back and think about that. Who is this hurting?
Oh, okay. Yes. Thank you.
I wish people would sit back and realize who is this hurting?
Because it's hurting all of us.
Yes. And it's hurting other people who may be looking for jobs. And then and you're going to send me an email, though these immigrants are taking jobs Americans don't want. I don't buy that. I don't buy that argument fully. I really don't.
But really don't. But Aaron, it goes way deeper than just they're taking the menial jobs. It goes way deeper than that. They're dragging our resources. They're draining our resources, because where does your and my tax dollars go? Yeah, is supporting, because you're getting education, you're getting health care, you're getting food, you're getting housing,
police and fire protection wherever you are. Yes.
You're getting, well, that's not free.
No,
it may be free to you, illegal citizen, Democrat.
And I know,
but it's not free, and it's not free to them.
No,
there's a high cost for this.
And I know some of them are coming over and they're working and they're earning a living and they're paying taxes and all that. But do it legally is all we want. Just come over and do it legally.
And the governor has to fight our own federal government to try to secure his border.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It really is.
Take a look. See what's really happening. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710keel.com.
Back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
Great way to get in touch with us. Shreveport Security Systems message board. If you don't have the free KEEL app, download it. You won't be sorry. You can also listen to us on the app. We did get a message talking about just why Democrats want open borders, why the Texas governor is having to fight our own federal government to try and secure his state. One of the messages says, yes, it goes a lot farther than that. They're shoving veterans out of the VA to treat illegals. And they're shoving veterans out of housing to house illegals.
I hope that's not true. I pray that's not true. As the mother of two veterans.
Yeah, thank you. One's still active.
Yeah, one is still active. Well, they both are actually.
Well, they both are. Yeah, absolutely.
They both are. Shoot. I hope not. It's frustrating. It's just one of those subjects. Of course, we want to help other people. If you want to come to our country, we want you here.
Not the point. Exactly.
We want you here legally. We want you to do it the right way. We don't want you to crash through the border and come illegally. And that's just what's been happening by the millions now. How many more can we take?
Another message, they're intentionally hurting us all. That's the plan. No amount of any chagrin we can add to alter their intentions or implementation of same. As we see it encroaching, we do nothing. We're duly programmed, and we're the frog in the boiling water now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm afraid that's true.
Can't get out of the pot now. Absolutely. Yeah.
The water's comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It's
nice.
fine.
It's not too bad. Now it's starting to get a little toasty in here.
We're talking about your Obama movie. Kathy says, guys, Dan Bongino's been talking about this movie for several days. Another message says, Mike, go watch it to find out firsthand if there is a message.
Yeah, I heard Bongino say it scared the beep out of him. And yes, Obama and his wife are the executive producers, I think. And Obama did give them some notes on the script. So if you're doing any research.
See, that just makes my skin crawl.
But could what happened in this movie really happen? That's the question. While you're watching the movie, could this really happen?
Right.
And it's essentially the fall of the U.S. at the hands of some of our enemies. But the movie ends weird. I'm going to tell you, it's a weird movie. The deer in this movie are nutty. I don't understand what they're doing.
The deer?
Yeah,
like deer.
Yes.
Hunting season deer?
Yeah, the deer are trying to talk to the humans, and it's not physically talk, but they're trying to let the humans know something's up, something's up, something's up. And we're not listening to the deer. There's a
You're going to make me waste 2 hours.
It's a weird movie. It's a weird movie. But the question as you watch it, could these things happen? Are we protected from this happening? I pray we are.
Another movie. Well, we just got a cue.
Yeah.
The movie spoke more about who Julia Roberts is.
I don't buy that one.
Hey, Senator Kennedy joining us next. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. .101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Mike and McCarty on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline. Senator John Kennedy joining us this morning. Senator, good morning. Thanks for taking time to talk with us.
Good morning. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, sir. We've been talking this morning about Texas Governor Abbott signing legislation allowing law enforcement to arrest illegals coming across the border from Mexico. Why do we have to have legislation to allow law enforcement to do their job unless we're fighting the Biden administration?
Well, I think it's pretty clear at this point that President Biden and a majority of the Democrats in positions of power believe in open borders. I mean, the numbers prove it. Since President Biden has taken office, we've had, by my numbers, about 8.6 million people come into our country illegally. Wow. That's
incomprehensible.
4 or 5 Nebraskas. We don't have the slightest idea who they are. President Biden sent us a national security bill. I'm in Washington right now. We're trying to negotiate it, dealing with Ukraine, Israel, the Indo-Pacific, and border security on the border. And, of course, Republicans said, okay, let's do border security. And the White House said, no, by border security, I mean, give me more money so I can buy more welcome mats. And the White House is willing to jeopardize its entire bill rather than secure the border when we know how to do it.
Do they not believe there's a process? If you want to come to our country, you follow the process. Whatever happened to that? Are we ever going to get back to that?
Well, for several years now, 2.5 years since President Biden's been president, Aaron, I've been saying that this president believes in open borders, and they push back on that. But I think it's clear they believe in open borders. I mean, to stop the flow, all we would have to do would be to refine the definition of asylum, to implement what we used to have, a Remain in Mexico program, a safe third country policy, finish the wall. And when people do claim asylum and they go to court and the judge says, no, you don't qualify, as most do not, then they're immediately deported. That's what we were doing before President Biden took office.
Do you see us starting to deport people again at some point?
I'm sorry, one more time, Aaron.
Do you see us deporting people again at some point in the future, perhaps after the Biden administration?
It will have to be after the Biden administration. It is clear to me that President Biden and the loon wing of the Democratic Party, which is in charge, believe that our border laws are racist and that anybody who wants to come into our country should be able to come into our country, which is very dangerous and violates the law.
Well, you can see videos now of the thousands that are lined up. Senator, 99% are young males. And we don't know where they're coming from. We don't know who they are or what their intentions are coming into this country.
Well, they're coming from all over the world. Most of our illegal migration used to be from Mexico. Then it became Central America, Nicaragua, Guatemala, et cetera. Maybe with some folks from Cuba added in. Now it's worldwide. It's everywhere. It's China. It's everywhere. It's Russia. We don't have the slightest idea who they are. We know what nationality they are. Our border agents can pick that up. But in terms of a background check, nah. It's just like, come on in.
Inflation. Let's talk about that a minute. As people are still trying to finish off some of their holiday stuff, it's hitting hard. It's hitting the middle class and everybody under them hard. Is there any light at the end of the tunnel?
Not unless the Biden administration and the majority in the Senate, which is controlled by my Democratic colleagues, change their ways. Look,
so that's a no.
In addition to the border, the reason that President Biden's numbers are on a journey to the center of the earth are also inflation and crime. And it's clear internationally with the war in Ukraine, the war in the Middle East, the troubles in Indo-Pacific, President Biden has tried to appease our enemies. Even as we speak, despite what Iran is doing in the Middle East, President Biden refuses to enforce the sanctions on Iranian oil, which could bring them to their knees because their only cash flow is from selling oil. And the Biden administration won't enforce the sanctions because they say we don't want to make Iran mad. Things are out of control, clearly. And the American people, as they always do, have figured it out. And then the biggest issue, in my opinion, based on just the polling I've seen, it's not the only issue, but it's clearly inflation. And President Biden and my Democratic colleagues said, well, inflation's coming down. What does that mean? That just means that prices are rising less quickly.
Right.
It doesn't. I'm afraid that many of the high prices, they're up anywhere from, depending on the service or good, anywhere from 17 to 75%, are going to be permanent. They may stop rising as the Fed tightens interest rates, but the prices themselves aren't going to go down. And the American people they're running out of money.
You bet. You're quoted as saying, and I'm going to quote you because it's hilarious, President Biden's in political trouble. His poll numbers are practically on the ocean floor. 70% of American people think his first car was a chariot. Senator John Kennedy. Is it that bad? Is it that bad for President Biden?
I think that's an accurate statement. Just look at the polling. 70% of the American people. That includes independents, Democrats, and Republicans. And this may be unfair, but that's what they believe. They believe that the president is too old to be president. We all age differently. They feel like he's aging rapidly and he can't do the job anymore. But then the vice president Harris's numbers are even worse than his. And I think, it is what it is. The policies, the loon wing, the woke wing of the Democratic Party has consumed President Biden and many of my Democratic colleagues, and they are in charge. And you see the result of their policies.
It's a struggle for a lot of people, a lot of Americans.
It's so frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we figured it out in Louisiana, and we have rejected most of that. But unfortunately, when many states haven't, it's why people are starting to move. It's why you're seeing people leave California and Oregon and Washington State and New York.
Senator, before we let you go, do you have a message for our outgoing Governor John Bel Edwards as he's leaving office?
Well, I thank him for his service. I don't know what else to say. We disagreed on many issues. I think his refusal to embrace choice in education, his his refusal to embrace accountability standards in education has really hurt us, and he knows I feel that way.
Do you give it? What would you grade him on the A to F scale as governor?
I don't want to do that. I mean, his term's almost over. American people, or the people in Louisiana, are smart enough to figure out it for themselves. I just think many of the woke policies now are the lone wing of the Democratic Party. Governor Edwards embraced. And he may have done it quietly and cleverly, but he did embrace them. And I think it's hurt Louisiana. For example, just on the school accountability standards, we've got to improve our K through 12 schools. And the only way to do that, if you believe, as I do, that every child can learn, is to test the kids and make sure that they can read before they leave third grade. And Governor Edwards fought us on that every step of the way, and I never did understand it, but that's what he believed.
You bet. Senator Kennedy, thank you so much for your time. God bless you for the work you're doing, and we're grateful you're there.
Merry Christmas, folks.
Thank you, sir.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty. Now more breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
In studio with us this morning, Michael Harris and Sandra Bigham from the crew of Sobek. First of all, good morning. Thanks for coming out.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How was the drive-in?
It was just fine.
Beautiful
Nice
morning.
chilly.
Okay.
You guys have the first parade of the season, correct?
First parade, first ball,
Okay. The ball's coming up how soon?
January 12th.
Whoa. It'll be here before we know it. Tell folks that
That's
don't
one
know.
night before your parade.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the Sobek weekend. We try to do all of it on one weekend.
Tell folks about Sobek, Michael. How did it start? What's the purpose? Because y'all are kind of like a party with a purpose, right?
Exactly.
Right. And I'm going to defer that to Sandra. She's a founder of Sobek. So,
Wow.
Sandra.
Okay.
Well, when we formed Sobek, we were original members of Harambe, and we had a different vision because we wanted to take the Mardi Gras to the inner community because they just did not have the opportunity or the wherewithal to either come down to where the parades were on the riverfront. I think when we originally started this, the parades were over in Bossier. So they could only see the parades on TV.
Yeah.
So we wanted to bring it inner city so that they would have the opportunity to witness that in person. So we decided that we would go in a different direction, and we sat down, we thought about it, and came up with the Greek god Sobek.
So your parade is going to be January 13th. What's the parade route? Is it different than the...
We staged at the fairgrounds and we rolled through the Queensboro neighborhood.
Okay.
So what we do, we come out of the fairgrounds and then we go to Murtis, which is the corner of where Fair Park School is. And then we'll go north to Lakeshore. From Lakeshore, we'll make a turn eastward and go to Missouri. And then we come down Missouri, which is alongside of the Job Corps, back to the state fairgrounds.
Have y'all had any of the issues with the city like some of the other crews have, or have your contract negotiations
No, because
been good?
we are a day parade, and then we roll through the community.
Okay.
And it's family friendly, so we won't have that interference. We do have the police officers and security, of course, but because of the time that we start at 1 o'clock. So that's much better for us and the city.
How big is it growing? Is it becoming one of the biggies now?
Well, last year there were about 2,000 participants. 2,000 people that were at the parade, according to the Tourist Bureau.
Wow.
Tourist Bureau ranks us number 3.
Okay, and your ball is at the convention center. This is a big throwdown, I'm told.
It is one of the most fabulous balls of the entire season. We are entirely sold out. We sold out in October. The only way you can get a ticket now is somebody decided not to come.
Wow. And folks that want to be part of SOBEC, say I want to be a crew member of SOBEC, how do you go about doing that?
They have to be sponsored by a current member. It is a recommendation based.
Okay.
So a crew member has to recommend you for membership, and you're brought to the membership committee, and we let you know. And
when you say party with a purpose, y'all do a lot of good in the community, too, that people don't know about.
Exactly. We just recently, or actually today, we're taking toys out to several schools and to the homeless. We got a committee now that's out getting ready to lead the Santa ride, because this year we're the Orient Express. So we got a train that's going out to different schools and different houses to drop toys off. We do scholarships. And that's normally presented to the college students, the high school graduates that's going to college. We feed some of the homeless, and during COVID, we were involved with that. So there's more to it than just the actual party.
We do the back to school. We also participated with the Angel Tree, giving kids.
Nice.
And then we also donate to some of the Rutherford House and places like that.
So if people want to find out more about Crew of SOBEC, obviously you have a website.
Yes, crewofsobec.org. And that's also the same site where you register for the parade. And under the events tab, you'll see parade and information on the ball. All of that's on our webpage, crewofsobec.org.
And parade ball date and the parade date again.
The ball date will be January the 12th, and that'll be at 6 p.m. And the parade would be Saturday, January the 13th, 1 o'clock p.m. from the parade grounds, from State Fairgrounds.
Yeah, thank you both for coming in. Appreciate
Thank you for inviting us.
You bet.
Great to have you both. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you.
Same to you.
Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710keel.com.
Back with Marty on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
When I was in elementary school, back when school lunches were school lunches.
White fluffy bread.
And you actually had vegetables. Now, I liked the turnip greens.
See, I did too.
I loved the good meals.
Cornbread. Oh, man. Bring it on.
And got that nickel for extra milk. Yes. And I remember, Aaron, when they started doing chocolate milk.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I remember when that was new. And
right.
My gosh, that was the best thing ever.
Yeah. We had a cafeteria workers at my school that were very creative about how they named our menu. And we walk in, and on the board it would say what we were having. And one day it said, elongated tube steak on horizontal bun.
You were having hot dogs.
Yeah, we was having hot dogs. Elongated tube steak. But yeah, those were the days when school lunches were school lunches. You had like 3 or 4 or 5 things on your plate.
Absolutely.
You got a meal.
Hot meal. Yeah.
And you got whole milk. And you got, you didn't have juices or sodas or any of that stuff. You had milk.
No.
You want to drink water? Well, the fountain's right down there. Go get, you didn't have bottled water. They're now going to put whole milk back in schools, it looks like.
I didn't know they'd taken it out.
Yep. Michelle Obama's health initiatives in 2010, major league upheaval in our school lunch programs. A lot of the sugar was taken out. A lot of the stuff was taken out. And it had to be whole grains and all that sort of stuff. And what it ended up happening was that they could no longer afford to keep putting some of the things on the plate because they were having to spend extra money on all the whole food stuff that you had to put on the plate. So when we have Tiffany Hyde is like the queen in this town for school lunches. I mean, She follows them. She takes pictures of the lunches of how they have declined over the years. Well, now at least Congress has voted, the House side has voted pretty overwhelmingly to reverse some of those policies so that we can have whole milk back in schools. It's up to the Senate now to decide if they're going to allow it to. I hope they do. We're just seeing so much waste because kids are seeing the lunch and it's one slice of bologna. That's what you get. A slice of bologna and maybe a piece of fruit. And that's lunch. And that's for a high school kid. That's just not enough.
No, that's ridiculous.
We're seeing that in a lot of cases. And hopefully they are making changes to improve it, because we know our kids, for some kids, that's the only meal they're getting is at school. And we can do better. We have to do better with that and use the money more wisely. And then there's a whole another group that thinks whole milk is the devil. We need to move toward plant-based milks. But, I think whole milk is nutritious for kids, and we should put it back in the schools.
Plant-based milk?
Oh, yeah, soy milk. Absolutely. There's a big crowd.
Almond milk.
Almond milk,
Tell me how you get milk out of an almond. How hard do you have to squeeze an almond?
You got to squish them real hard.
Out of an almond.
See, I'm not a milk fan. I don't like milk that much.
I love milk. But ice cold.
I think let the kids choose. The parents choose what they want their kids to have. If they don't want their kids to have the whole milk, then they can choose something else.
Right. But don't say I can't have it just because you don't want your kid to have it.
Yes, exactly. Let's let
as much as I love the show Parks and Rec, there was a little episode of Leslie Knope trying to stop the local fast food places and 7-Eleven type places from selling the 500 ounce sodas.
Right.
And I'm like Ron Swanson. If I want to buy a 500 ounce soda, who are you to tell me I can't?
Yeah. You shouldn't.
If you don't want it, don't buy it.
Exactly.
But if I want to, shut up.
Right. Exactly.
Don't buy it if you don't want it, but don't my rights don't end where your feelings begin. Okay, I'm going to...
Are you all right?
18 before the hour. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710KEEL.com.
Get back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
We were talking earlier. You and I were in a building yesterday, and we had to punch the elevator button. Mm-hmm. Okay. What were we talking about earlier when we were talking about touching other?
Oh, when I was at the local hospital yesterday?
Yes.
Forgive me. Do you want me to tell the story? Because it's embarrassing for me, but I did it, and that's how compulsive I am. I'm going for a doctor visit inside Willis Knight and Piermont.
Right.
Okay. And I'm going onto the 5th floor. Mike, this is embarrassing, and I can't believe you're making me tell the story, but it's a funny story. So I go to the elevator, and I'm thinking hospitals are germy. I mean, there's germs everywhere.
Absolutely.
And so I'm like, where's the nearest Purell little dispenser before I get on the elevator and punch buttons? And there's a dispenser right there at the elevator.
I use my knuckle, by the way. The back, like that helps.
Definitely. I use my elbow sometimes.
Okay, right.
So I go to the Purell dispenser right there at the elevator. It's out. There's no Purell in it.
No hand sanitizer.
Yes. And I'm thinking, I'm getting ready to get on a germy elevator.
Right.
And with buttons that everybody's touched, that have been picking their nose and have germs everywhere. And
MRSA.
Yeah. So I take a picture of the dispenser and I text it to Brian Crawford, one of the head guys at Willis Knighton.
I'm surprised you didn't try to contact Mr. Elrod.
Well, I don't think he's working any longer.
And take care of this.
I sent this stupid text to Brian Crawford how nutty have I gotten?
Oh, the same amount of nuttiness from when you texted Dr. Fleming when your Subway sandwich wasn't correct.
It's getting worse.
I expect no less.
It's getting worse. I hope they have Purell at the elevators and WKP now. I'm sure they do. I'm sorry, Brian. I apologize in public for that. No, she doesn't. I'd do it again tomorrow.
She'll text you at 4:30 in the morning with the 3 letters RUP. 101.7 FM 710 KEEL.
Now more breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
By the way, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. 7 o'clock hour, we're going to have all four of the senators, Adam Bass, Alan Seabaugh, Thomas Presley, and Sam Jenkins, have all agreed. They've cleared their schedule. They're coming in studio. So if you've got questions, now's the time to shoot them to the Shreveport Security Systems message board. And so we'll have those on tap. So we can possibly get your question to one or any of the four senators for tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock hour.
Don't think that anybody else has had all four. These are all four senators that represent Northwest Louisiana. I don't think anybody else has had all four sit down and let's go for a full hour, and we'll clear as much of the hour as we can. We're going to talk taxes. We're going to talk business. We're going to talk jobs. We're going to talk roads and
the
crime.
New legislature.
You bet.
The new governor.
Absolutely. Everything is on the table for tomorrow. And, you know, all four of these guys are new to the Senate. So, you know, how are you going to
maneuver?
Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. That new maze you're jumping into. I mean, they've all got, except for Adam, they've all got some time in the House. So they kind of know the procedure. But, you know, it's a new game over there in the Senate. It's a new bunch of players. How well are they going to play with others? Are we going to get more stuff for our area? That's what we all care about, you know. Lots of questions for them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Talk a little Jimmy Davis Bridge. You're going to talk, a plethora. We've got a whole hour with all four senators. I'm looking forward to this.
I'm looking forward to it too. It's going to be good. Things are going to be changing in Louisiana. I mean, we need to prepare for that, and a lot of people are happy and excited. Governor John Bell Edwards is on the way out the door. I'm working on a story that he's been signing some pardons. And I'm working on that too. I've got some details on that I'm working on. He's been doing
a lot of this quietly, hasn't he? Senator Kennedy made that point earlier that his liberal agenda. He doesn't make a lot of noise about it. But he's very,
Yep, he did his last
surreptitiously
news conference yesterday. Was his final news conference, and he didn't rule out a possible political future. He said, "I never say never." But he looked at his wife, kind of, the wife's got to bless it, before I do anything. So he could run again in 4 years. You never know.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty.